Good morning. We're going to start in just a couple of minutes. Excited about being with you guys. If you're joining us from Zoom, awesome. And if you'll just mute yourself while we're talking, and you can unmute yourself for the Q&A. And if you're joining us via Facebook or YouTube, it's going to be awesome there too. You just won't be able to participate live. If you want to participate live, there is a post that I just put out, and it's on the screen, and you can join us on Zoom too, because we're going to do live Q&A at the end. Okay. Okay, good morning. We are live, I believe, on Zoom. And if anyone needs to enter and you get a password, there's no password, but one of our hosts will let you in from the waiting room if you get prompted. But I'm so excited to be doing this with you this morning. We're going to be doing it live with some interaction on Zoom, and then we'll be doing it on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be doing it live there also. I just want to let you know that if you do want to participate in the Q&A at the end, you will need to join us via Zoom. So just make sure you are with us on Zoom, okay? Let me just make sure I've got a couple things going here. It's our first time using this service, so I'm trying to make sure that we have everybody in here. So just give me a minute. We're going to start our Power Hour. Get organized, get ready. Use the algorithms if you're on Facebook or YouTube to join us via Zoom if you need to. But I'm going to ask Trey, who's joining us this morning. Trey, I don't know what you're seeing, but on Zoom, I'm just seeing someone's name. I'm not seeing my screen, and want to see if you could help me with that. But let's see here. Okay.
Good morning, Kurt. You can hear me? It's Trey.
I can hear you. Yep.
Great. Just wanted to make sure, just make sure you're looking at your Ecamm window and
Right.
not Zoom.
I am, but the Zoom window doesn't show me center screen. So I was just wanted to make it was.
Right now, I see you with your in Zoom. Right now, I see you with your presentation view up. So you just need to change the scene in Ecamm.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So here we go. We'll start now. Trey can edit that out in the beginning, but we're trying to do this like really, really multitask this morning because we want to give you guys the benefit of not just joining us on one of our recorded Power Hours, but we wanted to do a live one and wanted to be present with you. But then we also wanted to do some Q&A at the end just so you could ask some questions. So if you do have any challenges, if you would put those in the comments, and Trey can respond and let me know somehow. So we're going to rock and roll, okay? All right, let's do it. So let me tell you about a Power Hour just for a minute before we dive into actually starting the Power Hour. Just a little bit of history, and whatever platform you're on, Ecamm, if you're on Zoom, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can post in the comments. How many of you are using the Power Hours and are participating in those currently as we speak? Would love to know. Have you ever been on a Power Hour before? Okay. I think most of you've tried it before and done it, but let me, for those of you that maybe this is your first time or you've never used a power hour before, the name kind of describes for you what it is. But I'm big on time management. If you were to ask me, just if you were to catch me off guard spontaneously on the street somewhere, what makes someone successful and the other person not? I would say time management, good priority management, but it's the management of those 24 hours that we all have the same amount of resources. So most of you are on this call today because you're striving for, you're thriving, you're seeking out the best tools and ways to build your business. And I think consistency is probably the most important thing, but all of us have different schedules. Some of us don't have kids yet. Some of us have 5 kids at home. Some of us have 2 kids and they're in school all day. Some of you are grandparents and you've got grandchildren and you're empty nesters, but sometimes the grandkids are there. So we all have different schedules. Some work from home, some travel 5 days a week. You know, we all have different seasons of life that we're in and different things, different times that we travel. So this power hour is doing a couple things. Number one, you're on here because you're committed to building a business, whether it's your full-time pursuit or you've said, I want to diversify my income. I want to build that extra income so that one day I can stop trading hours for dollars, you know. So you're sitting here saying, how do I do that? And you thought, well, the power hour, I've done one. It was a great tool. I want to hear it. I want to do it with Kurt this morning. But a power hour is taking an hour, hopefully once a day. You can do it on any frequency. I know some people that do 3 a day. I know some people that do 3 a week, 1 a week. But I would say once a day is a good rhythm. And there's a schedule on your boards. It's on the Campbell Team boards that comes out on a regular basis. And if those times don't work for you, we have a power hour that's pre-recorded on our website. And Trey can put the link in there for you where you can go find that. I think it's makealife.com/power hour or coaching. I forgot, but Trey can pop that in there. And then this is occasionally, we're going to do a live one just to be with you, you know, wherever you are all over the country, we're going to be with you face to face. And here's what we're going to do at the end. Today, at the end, if you're on Zoom, and let me go back and grab my post here. And I'll throw it up on the screen. You see that post there? There's a link in that post. I know Trey can stick that in the comments if you're on Facebook or YouTube, so you can click on it. But there's a post there that when we're done with our power hour, we're going to close out the power hour. Everybody that needs to go can leave, and then we're going to have Q&A. And I don't know how long it's going to go, but we'll try and get to everybody's questions. If not, we will take it back to Voxer or do another session together, okay? But I wanted you to know that that's kind of how it's going to work this morning, okay? But I want us to dive into the power hour because everybody's kind of given us that amount of their time. And I think a lot of people will take a power hour and do them differently. You break them down into little bits so that you can be described or given a task, and then you get a moment to go work that task, okay? And then you do that, and you get described another task, and you go work that. So that's what we're going to use that rhythm, just like normal this morning. And some of the things, if you've never done them before, or you feel like, gosh, I came to this unprepared, it's okay, because in almost every scenario on the screen, and Trey will stick in the comments a link where we've got more deeply recorded videos, material on how we do those particular things, okay? So let me describe this for you, and we'll dive in right now. We're going to start our power hour activity. So if you want to grab, I would say right this minute, while I'm going to take a minute and describe what we're going to do next, you're probably going to want a pad and pen to take some notes and to do some of the activities. So legal pad and pen, Apple Pencil and iPad, you know, Apple Notes app and your thumbs typing, whatever you want to do, you want to have that. I would suggest that you have your phone out and ready to go because sometimes we may ask you to text, sometimes we may ask you to make a phone call. And if you want to be sitting in front of your laptop or your iPad, that might be a great idea too, just so because we're not just going to talk about what you should do. We're actually going to do it. Okay. So while you're gathering all that, here's part one. We're going to make sure that you're managing your relational capital well. And I'm going to speak for just a minute. This will be a little different than a normal power hour. You're going to get a little bit more of my just importance of these activities before you jump into them. Most of you either do a good job or you don't, but you know you're supposed to manage your finances well. You know, spend less than you earn, pay your taxes, tithe, give to those that are less fortunate than you, save for your future, and live within your means. Those kind of things. Whether you do it well or not, you know you're supposed to be a good steward over your money. You've got calendar apps, paper calendars, desktop calendars, bells, dingers, alarm clocks, everything helping you try to manage your time. Whether you do a good job of it or not, we're all given 24 hours, and you know you're supposed to be a good steward of your time. Here's the trick. Here's the kicker. There's a third part. You're supposed to be a good steward over your relational capital that's God's given you. Those are the relationships in your life that you're supposed to be a good steward over. And one of the things that I think you're supposed to do is to find what God's called you to do. Find the right vehicle that you're supposed to use to create income, to build and provide for your family, and to provide so that you can be available to do the things that God's called you to do. Once you find that, if you connect that with the right people and partner with the right people, God's going to expound that and expand that and take it to new borders and new territories beyond what you can imagine. So here's step one of our power hour today, and that is going to be managing relational capital. This comes from, and I didn't tell you this because I wanted to get here first. Another thing you should have in front of you, you should have, I'm not chastising you if you don't yet, because we're going to tell you how to do it, but you should have a memory jogger in front of you. That's your list of contacts and people that you're interacting with for the first time, that you're following up with. It's who you want to share this Juice Plus product and business with, okay? If you've never done that before, you don't have to do it right now, but you can go to makealife.com/memory jogger when this call is over, so that when you do your next power hour call, you're going to be ready and more prepared. But you can still do this activity with us, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to make a list. Either take your memory jogger and highlight and bring those people to the top that you want to reach out to in the next day, in the next week, in the next month. I want you to go in and update your memory jogger, because I want you to realize that this document is dynamic. It's not static. You can't just tell me, "Oh, I did that." No. Have you what status is your memory jogger in right this minute? Is it up to date? Do you know who you're going to share the product, the business, the next strategy with today? Okay. So I want us to take the next 7 minutes, and I want you to really get focused and make sure you get your memory jogger organized as to who you've talked to, who do you need to follow up with, and in one column on that memory jogger, write next steps. And who are you going to reach out to for the first time? What's your first exposure? Who do you need to get on a 3-way phone call? Let's get that list organized, and we're going to tackle it. But just look at your list and think about 80% of all sales are closed on the 5th conversation or after. What stage in that process are these people at? And remember one thing, everybody on that list deserves to have all their questions answered before you ask them to make a decision. So who on there has a question you haven't answered yet? Okay, think about that. Work on your memory jogger. Work on your relational capital so that you can invest it more wisely today, okay? 7 minutes. Here we go. You got about 3 minutes, a little less than 3 minutes left. And if you're struggling a little bit, don't just really know that you can leave this session today and you can dive deeper and make you an amazing memory jogger, make it a priority. I just want you to get maybe the top 10 names in your relational capital that you want to take action on next. Sharing the product and sharing the business, and maybe pick in the next 2 minutes. Why don't you pick 3 of those people that you want to do a 3-way phone call with this week? Okay. And we're going to talk about that more in a minute, but let's get our relational capital organized. 2 more minutes. Okay. Last minute here. You got 1 minute left. And while you're finishing up, since we're live here, I'm going to answer a couple questions in our comments on Facebook. While you're finding your 3 people, let's hone in on the 3 people you're going to do a 3-way phone call with this week. On Facebook, Barbara Hand asked, or she made a comment that this can be done at any time. And I think that's great. She tagged somebody and shared that this can be done any time of day. This is an unusual, a live session that we're doing. And I'm sure Barbara can get Mandy, I'm sure she can get you a copy of. There's a schedule that goes out of when they're done live by different leaders. And then on our website, makealife.com, we have a recorded version of this that you can do at any point in time. Okay, it's makealife.com/power hour. And just above in the comments, Trey's already posted that. Okay. All right. We are back live. How did you do? How did you do? Tell me how it went. I'd love to know just in the comments, whether you're on Zoom live with us. You can share in the chat or you can save it for our Q&A at the end. But how did that go working on your memory jogger? Your relational capital. It really is the number one key in this business, because when I sponsor someone and they join me in this endeavor to build that reliable, faithful, consistent income for them and their families, and really most importantly, to get their family on a journey and a mission of flooding their body with fruits and vegetables every day. One of the things that you really want to do is to make sure that you're available for them, that they're joining you on this journey together, and that they feel like they're doing it with you. So the relational capital is so important that you do schedule that time with the right people and take an effort there. So hopefully you feel like you got maybe one step more organized in the right direction. Hopefully you've got some intentionality now of who you're going to contact next. Okay. Let's take part 2 of our Power Hour and let's talk about calendaring our events for a minute, okay? There are so many events out there. And again, normally this will take you, you'll just whiz through this and there won't be as much of a guided time, but I'm taking advantage of this time to really talk through with some of you what these mean. So this is an example of a local in your kitchen, what we call a sourdough workshop. Thanks to Michaela Peterson and several of our leaders around the country, we've taught people the benefits of focusing on gut health, and sourdough bread is good for your gut, teaching them a new skill in their kitchen, giving them what they call the starter to make sourdough, and then talking about gut health and also what Juice Plus does for gut health, but people come to learn that new amazing skill of making fresh, healthy bread at home, good for you kind of bread. And that's an example of a local event. Let me give you another. And there's wine and wellness, there's salad in a jar parties that we do, and there's just potlucks where we get together and you have an amazing leader or speaker come over. Sorry for that click. Another way to find out about meetings, and I didn't put another flyer down, but just so that you can know about the other type of events that are going on. If you go to boards and go to events, there's lots going on. We're on a growth and action plan, which is a fourth quarter plan for 2024, and there are events going on all over the country. We just had one in Atlanta this past Saturday. I know that there are some coming up like in Canada, Dayton, Ohio. There's a big boot camp coming up in Georgia in November, and we've got another one in January. So you can go to boards to find out about a lot of these other events. I want to make sure you know about the next one coming up in Atlanta. We do this. We've started this in 1989 to kick off the new year, the Peachtree Boot Camp. We have a leadership session all day on Friday, and we start our boot camp on Friday at dinner time. Go to peachtreebootcamp.com, and you can get those tickets. It'll sell out soon, but there are tickets left right now. And then another thing to get on your calendar before we dive into this next time is to make sure you put the two big rocks on your calendar, and that's the fall and spring event, which we call Juice Plus Live. The next one is this spring in San Diego, where the weather's perfect year-round. It's going to be awesome, and there's actually a competition where you can get enough points and win a kind of the trip of a lifetime, the 3 days afterwards at a fancy resort and spa, and you get to tour the manufacturing facility where our products are encapsulated. So you can get more details about that from your Upline National Marketing Director, okay? So we're going to go into 7 minutes again. This is, I know I'm doing a little bit of training here too, but in the regular power hour, you wouldn't quite get as much, what's the right word, input right before the activity. But now this is the real purpose of the power hour. It's the activity. And I want you, what you need to get out right now before these next 7 minutes is you're going to need your calendar. And if you use a paper calendar, get your paper calendar. If you use an iPad or an iPhone, if you use an iPhone and an iPad, if you have an iPad, I would strongly suggest you get your iPad out so you can see a bigger view of your calendar. Maybe look at a month view or a year view so you can plan out a little further in advance. That was the moment in time when I knew I could get away from a paper calendar. It wasn't just when the phone came out. The phone did have a calendar, but it didn't let me look ahead and see a big enough view to really plan. And the iPad did that. So we're going to take the next 7 minutes, and here's your task, okay? I showed you different types of events. And there's one more type of event, and that's the one that's not there that you have to create, okay? So you have local events. Excuse me. You have local events, you have boot camps and regional events, and you have our annual national events, our Juice Plus Lives. But I learned one thing when I first got in this business, and that was that sometimes I've got somebody brand new that's interested in this product or business, and there's not an event that's in the right location that's the right timing for them. And we're so fortunate now that with Zoom and the ability to do virtual events, we can meet someone's need anywhere in the world without having to get on an airplane and go sit in a coffee shop with them, okay? So the other type of event is a virtual event that you can schedule with your upline, your sideline. You can do it yourself, but know that you've got those type of events that I listed, and then you've got an unlimited amount of virtual events, or you could host an event in your home. Call your upline, your mentor, your sponsor, and say, hey, I've got 3 or 4 or 5 people that are really interested. Can we pull together, and could you come over and let me invite them over so we can share with them what we're doing and our amazing product, okay? So I want you to take your calendar, and whatever shape your memory jogger's in from the 7 minutes we did, or maybe you had an amazing memory jogger when we started, I want you to get that out, and I want you to calendar. I want you to take the events and the people, And I want you to get them on your calendar as to here's an event and who you're going to invite to it. Here's an event and who you're going to invite to it. Here's an event and I'm going to make sure I'm there, and I'm trying to get 2 people to go with me. And you're better off, you can shotgun and invite a bunch of people, but make sure you've got 1 or 2 or 3 there. You can invite a lot. You can say, hey, come on, join me at this meeting. It's going to be awesome. I want you to come. And they might follow you. You might give them directions. They might use GPS to get there. But there's 2 or 3. If you use your bumper hitch or tell them to call shotgun and sit in the front seat with you, you can make sure that they're there, okay? So let's work on getting these events on our calendar with the people that are going to come. And let's take the next 7 minutes and do that, okay? And I will make mention of this. We didn't put this on a slide, but there is a lot more information on boards, on events, and there is a lot more information on relational capital on our makealife.com website. So work the task at hand today. You got 5.5 more minutes on this task. Work the task at hand today, knowing we've got reinforcement, support, and help so that you can do this better and better and better into the future. We're so glad you're here. This is you stepping up and being willing to be held accountable to get the things done that are important. So we're so excited you're here. Just wanted to comment on that, and I'll give you silence again so you can work. One more comment here. Um, After this session, I'm going to give you guys a chance to just give us a little bit of feedback. I want to hear from like Melissa. She said some things were difficult. I want to hear that. And so after this session, we're going to have just a minute to get some feedback from you guys, okay? Okay, 2 more minutes, just a quick 2 minute warning and maybe a little help to get you to maximize this last 2 minutes. I want you to focus in on the next 60 days. I want you to focus in on November and December. What are you going to do to make sure that you have the seeds planted in your field to be ready to have the best harvest ever in 2025? So, what are you going to get on your calendar right now for November and December? Because that's going to determine how well you can start 2025. I realize that when you get deep into December, and even around the Thanksgiving holiday, you don't close a lot of stuff, but you plant a lot of seeds. You don't want to start January with a garden that has nothing planted, okay? So focus on events that will help you plant seeds in November and December. You got 1 more minute. Okay, we got about 10 seconds left. I'm going to see if I can bring Melissa on. Melissa, I would love for you to share with us what you were talking about when you were sharing you had some difficulties. So, okay. I didn't know
Ready?
my timer had an alarm on it. So, Melissa, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
So not like difficult. I just think if you had not been specific about what steps I should take, I
Mhm.
would have just gone past scheduling someone for a three-way call or seeing exactly where they are. So it kind of forced me to take my memory jogger, and I highlighted some people for three-way calls. I put some question marks indicating who still has questions. I
Had you
put
ever
a
done that
P.
before?
Not in that much detail that fast.
Yeah, that
I
was
probably would,
7 minutes is fast.
yeah, I probably would have
Yeah.
just sat here and like stressed over the list and like
Gotcha.
thrown it away. Just kidding. And then kind of what stage of communication are we at? These are people, some people in my memory jogger are people I've created conversations with. They're not always Juice Plus conversations yet.
Sure.
So I flagged some of those to know that I want to
I
expand
actually
and
think
talk.
I think that's really healthy actually to what you just said is you don't have to like slobber Juice Plus all over them in the first conversation. Melissa, do you have an example maybe of like somebody that you needed to reconnect with first before you like I guess they're what's that quote that says nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care? Have you ever heard that quote before?
Yeah, actually, so yeah, that's a good example. There's a girl I just met online, and it was funny. I gave her that standard, like, hey, thanks for reaching out and connecting. And she's like, well, somebody told me I needed to meet you, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
So we just we seem like we have the same kind of personality. But she's been having some health concerns. So I would like to reach out to her and just in caring as a healthcare professional, like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? Can I help you?
Yep.
And hope I can actually help her. And if not, with Juice Plus, with something else.
Cool. Well, Melissa, thanks for sharing for a minute. And I think we can do some
Thank
more of this
you.
interacting. I think, you know, uh, one of the things that you're going to see, I think, in the future is these power hours are becoming more and more prevalent. And even though Melissa said like that was a lot in a short window of time, it does make you do the activity though, even though it may be in a more hurried fashion than you like. What we're really trying to do is say, okay, these activities are super important. And if you only had an hour in a day, I mean, Melissa went through several things. I mean, she got some done. She had to realize that she wasn't at that fifth or later conversation where that person was ready maybe to make a decision, but there was a next step. There was a wonderful conversation she could have, you know? So let's make sure that we realize that as we tackle this and we dig into each phase of this power hour. So Melissa, I want to thank you for that. And we're going to have some more time at the end to just we can ask each other questions and interact. But I just wanted to grab Melissa for a minute because she was making some good comments. So let's tackle the next phase here. And it's pretty good timing on this. The next thing we're going to do is work on three-way phone calls, okay? I think you can see a lot of this power hour time is about powering, it was about getting people to a place of where you can activate them for a certain thing on your calendar. Because I know that a lot of these people, you're not going to be able to reach out and do the activity with that person in this 7 minutes. They're not available. You weren't prepared to do everything you had to do, but it's okay. You can schedule it and get ready and you know what's next, okay? So three-way phone calls, if you asked me, if Melissa or Constanza or anybody on the call today asked me, what is, if I could learn one skill, just one skill, that's the most important thing that you say, if you could master this one skill, you could make it in this business, you could become successful, it would be the three-way phone call. And it's not that I want you to go to my website. I don't make any money with you going to my website, but we try really hard to make good resources for you. And we just did this one. And I think it was one of the better ones that we've ever done, but it goes into such detail about who, what, how, when, where. How do you do the three-way phone call? Why do you do it? Who do you get on it? How do you invite them? If you've never mastered the three-way phone call, you are doing yourself a great disservice if you're not doing multiple three-way phone calls with your support person, your upline, your mentor every single week, and then doing an onslaught of those calls like right now at the end of the month. You're really missing out on the best tool there is in this business. So again, on the screen right now, and Trey can stick the link in so you can click on it. YouTube.com/makealife is where that video is, and it'll be there for you into the foreseeable future on YouTube and our Facebook page, okay? So we're going to jump in again with 7 minutes. And what I would like for you to do, you have two options here, okay? You can, if your upline has not yet given you or doesn't have a way to share their calendar with you when they're available, you'll have to tackle this time a little bit different. But I would like for you to, after you watch the training video, you'll understand. But I would like for you to, before you do your next power hour, to make sure that your mentor, your upline, has Calendly, or what's that other one that started with a T, Trey, that was free, or knows how to use their Google Calendar.
It's called TidyCal is what it's called.
TidyCal. Yeah, there's a TidyCal is a I think it's TidyCal, TidyCal. And then you've got Calendly, Calendly. That's my favorite. That's the one I use. And it tightly integrates with the Google Calendar or with your iCloud calendar. But if your upline's giving you access to their calendar, you can schedule these things right now. You can text somebody, hey, when could you grab 5 minutes? I really want you to meet Kurt. He has been an amazing help with me in this business. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just giving you an example. And I would love for you to meet him. And even if, no matter what you want to do with this business, whether you want to become a customer or you don't, or get in the business or you don't, you're important to me. And I would love to have your support. Could you take 5 minutes and learn what I'm doing so that you could become a customer, could join, but at least I would know you're my biggest cheerleader and you could offer me support and maybe give me a referral, because I'm trying to find 5 amazing people and I know you could help me. So take the pressure off, get the people that you want to be a customer, to be on your team, or to be your biggest support, get them on a 3-way phone call. Okay. So I'd like for you to take the next 7 minutes. Maybe you could text, let's set a little goal or a target here. Maybe you could text 3 people. Let's say you text 3 people and ask them about doing a 3-way call. maybe if your upline's already given you their calendar, you go ahead and try and schedule those calls. I would love for another thing you can do. I would love for you to block out some time on your calendar when you're going to commit to doing three-way calls. So you could block out that time. You could try some spontaneous ones. And then when you hang up from your power hour today, I would like for you to call your mentor, your upline, your person that is your, expert that's helping you with this business, your upline leader. And I would like to say, hey, I know we've got a couple days left in the month. Here's some of the goals that I've not quite finished with yet. This person hasn't finished their 3-1. This person hasn't finished their Partner Plus. There's a few things that just haven't been done yet. Would you mind getting on a call with me to help them finish the goals they started so they can finish the month with urgency and not let procrastination win? So send 3 texts, schedule some calls, block out some time to do 3-way calls on your calendar. And right now in the next 24 hours, when you get off, schedule some time with your mentor to make sure that you can close out and help people that have decisions to make and a few little activities to do. Use the 3-way call to create urgency to destroy procrastination, okay? Take the next 7 minutes. If you have questions about this, we can talk about them at the end, but I really think that training that's on our YouTube channel is an amazing training on 3-way calls, okay? 7 minutes. Here we go. There is a chance, I just got a message for those of you that are on Facebook and YouTube, you may not have heard the instructions. It went through on Zoom, but if you're on Facebook or YouTube, your mic or the audio could have gone out for you when I was giving the instructions of what we're doing right now. So I'm going to repeat them again. You all that heard the instructions, keep going. But if you missed the instructions, what I'd like for you to do is to schedule at least 3-way calls. Text 3 people you're going to do a 3-way call with this week. Get 3 times when you're going to work on scheduling calls with your upline, so you can schedule that out. But the main thing we talked about that I asked you to do was to take this next 24 hours. It's the end of the month. Get with you when you get off the phone, get with your mentor, your upline, and ask them to schedule some time with you immediately, and you can share with them some goals that you've not yet finished, some people on your team that may not have done their 3-1s yet, finished off their Partner Plus, qualified their business for the month, and that you want to get on some 3-way phone calls for them to help you walk these people through what they need to do to finish this month strong so that urgency can destroy procrastination. So for those of you that are on YouTube or Facebook, if you did get muted out, I apologize, okay? So you got 4 more minutes to dive into this. Keep working on your 3-way calls, okay? There are 3 minutes left, and I want you to make sure that you stay focused on the task right now. I know you want to learn more about three-way calls if you've never done them before. You need to get your upline to get a scheduling app so that you can schedule three-way calls with Calendly or TidyCal, or there's a way you can use Google Calendar to do that too. But right now, we're focused on you doing activities that can help you right now. I want 3 texts to go out to invite someone to a three-way call. I want you to block aside some time in the next week for you to do three-way calls. When you get off this call, you can go ahead and text your upline right now, say in 30 minutes, hey, can we get on the phone? I need to share with you my goals for the end of the month. I've got some people that are close. I need you to get on the phone to help me use urgency to help them make a wise choice. So take the next 2 minutes and make sure you do those 3 things, okay? One more minute, okay? One more minute, and we're going to jump back into our next topic. And if somebody on Facebook or YouTube, primarily Facebook's what I'm looking at right now, would you all let me know if I was correct or not that you missed out on the audio and when I repeated it, it helped because it looked like it didn't go through on Facebook, but I would just be curious as to if the Facebook audience, if you felt like you missed a little bit of audio right there for a minute, just so we can do better next time, okay? All right, let's go to our next topic. Okay, let's talk about creating a plan for social media content, to create or plan social content. Oh, good. I'm glad, Barbara. Maybe the mic was working. It's so crazy. If you saw everything that I had in front of me right now between cameras and mics and iPads and everything that's coming together to like everything's coming from different places to create the whole picture you're seeing. And I got to make sure that all the pieces are going to Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. So when I muted the mic for a moment during your 7 minutes, I thought I did not unmute it for Facebook. So glad you got it. So if you heard it twice, sometimes repetition's good. So sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about our next project here. And if you had any questions or comments about that last session on three-way calls, it's so important. Make sure you stay on for the Q&A at the end and we'll go over that, okay? But I want us to keep moving here so we do have time for the Q&A. So the next thing I want you to do, I want you to take the next 7 minutes and I want you to focus in on creating and planning social media content. And the reason I say creating and planning, I want you to do some of it right now, okay? But what I don't want you to do is to do 10 posts right now. I want you to be wise and create something that's an expectation for your audience, okay? Here's some tips on the screen. There are lots of social media tips. There's great social media content on boards that you can access. So, I mean, you don't have to be this creative genius, okay? So first of all, be you and share your story. It's the most powerful thing. So if you've never done that, I would encourage you to go live. And if you're not ready, it's okay. I mean, maybe you're maybe you have not combed your hair yet and you just are not ready to get on Zoom live. It's okay. Put a hat on if you want to, but um, you don't have to do it right now. But I would like for you to go on Facebook Live and share your story and just be real and authentic, okay? We have an amazing video coming out that we'll have for you guys. Because many of you guys, I am someone that you look at that's already been down the road you're trying to go down. And my story is powerful because you're building the story for your family that I've already built for mine. And you can use my story and share what's happened. And so Trey and I filmed this past week a video that I think is going to be really good about the journey that Lori and I have been on from just getting married, no kids, and how this business answered a prayer for us about our future, having 3 kids, and now our 7th grandchild on the way, and how this business has been a life-changing, multi-generational income for our family. So that video should be available by the end of the week, I think, and Trey can tell you where to find it and stuff. So don't overthink it. Don't not post something because you're trying to get it perfect. There's Trello boards that you can find on the Boards app that have lots of pictures. There's lots of resources just on Boards itself. There's resources on your Juice Plus hub. So there's no reason for you not to do this, because all you got to do is cut and paste, honestly, except for sharing your story. That's unique. So here's a strategy for you, okay? And you can do this in the next 7 minutes. Go find 10 people that you respect, admire, and love their creativity and the life and family they represent on a social channel that you're on, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be. And I would like for you to reshare 10 people's content, something they've shared about bromelain in a pineapple, or the what's in Juice Plus Luminate that's a breakthrough in cognitive health, or how their kids are eating it free through the Juice Plus Foundation and Healthy Start. So go find 10 people that you can reshare. So in the next 7 minutes, I want you to reshare 10 people's content. Think about 4 original pieces of content. It might be something fun you did this weekend. It might be, the smoothie you had for breakfast. It might be, how your child took Juice Plus because you can't get a piece of broccoli down their throat. Or it might be, you sharing, maybe you've gone from couch potato to running around the neighborhood and your goal's a 10K or whatever, okay? Or you're playing pickleball 3 times a week and you used to never even get off the couch, and and now you're competing, and whatever you want to share, just share something. Exercise, getting more rest, more sleep, a nutrition post, a whole food post, a hydration, drinking more water, original content. And then you can share one like direct sale promo, like, hey guys, did you know that your kid can get Juice Plus for free? Our Healthy Starts program lets every parent that's on Juice Plus get a product for free. So you can do a promo post about your product, but let that be the one where your 10 reshares, 4 original pieces of content, and 1 direct appeal for them to buy or purchase what you're selling, okay? And that could be whatever you want. So let's take the next 7 minutes, okay, and do this. But just remember, you need to be ready to follow up, to comment, to engage with them, because this is not a post it and they will come strategy, okay? It's a post it, interact, engage, private message, text, get offline, have a phone conversation with the people that interact with what you share, okay? The post is just the beginning of the process, okay? Here we go. 7 minutes. Let's go to work. Okay, you have 3 more minutes, and just in case you feel like, maybe you need to schedule something for later, you can't get it done. In the next 2 minutes, I'd like for you to get on your calendar a time when you're going to go live and share your story or share something about your journey, whether it's your journey to your family being healthier and you took the lead, flooding your body and your family with fruits and vegetables, or it's a going live of you deciding that it was important for you to be available to your purpose and calling that God wired you for in the future. And you're doing something now so that you don't trade hours for dollars the rest of your life. So I want on your calendar before this next 2 minutes is up, if you didn't go live during this 7-minute time period, I would like for you to get a date on the calendar to go live. And I'll tell you a secret that I learned when I started being willing to go live. I didn't always like looking at myself on Facebook. I still don't like looking at myself, or you would hear your voice and like that just didn't sound good. You're always critical. But here's a way to overcome that. Did you know that before we started doing all this virtual stuff, that when you went to Starbucks and sat down and had a cup of coffee with somebody, and they were sitting across the table 3 feet from you and looking at you, that really is what you look like. And so what you see on camera really is what you look like. And it's okay, because you used to do it at Starbucks all the time and you didn't think twice about it. It's just that the fact that you can look back and see yourself too. So just pretend like you're getting ready to go sit at Starbucks and get on the camera and go share with people what we're talking about, okay? All right, 1 more minute, and then we're going to jump into the next one and we'll be done. Okay. Give us some feedback and tell us how that went. Give us some feedback and tell us how that went. And we're going to have some time at the end to talk about it some more. Okay, let's hit the last part of our power hour, and it is follow-up. Okay, how many have heard the quote that the fortune is in the follow-up? You heard that before? I mean, I know that was something I was told, and I had to process it because it was just a quote, and then it really became alive. It's like, wow, that's true. I mean, you can sling mud on the wall, but if you don't follow up, it's just going to all drip to the floor, you know? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to focus on not necessarily new people that you've never talked to, but let me just describe a few of the activities I want you to do in the next 7 minutes, okay? I want you to follow up with someone that is in your pipeline that they have not gotten to the point yet where they were ready to make a decision. And either there's more information they need, there's a question they need to ask, or you're still reestablishing a rapport. Maybe it's an old high school friend and you hadn't talked to them in 15 years. And the first thing is, hey, we have got to reconnect. So you did that. You had the reconnection. And now you're going to say, hey, you got to catch me up. I didn't have time. Tell me what's going on with your family. And you catch up. And I'll tell you, if you're going to do some follow-up, here's a really good trick. Okay, you ready? Play stalker for 5 minutes, okay? I mean, we don't have 5 minutes, for 30 seconds. Play stalker for 30 seconds and go stalk the person before you follow up. Stalk them on Facebook and Instagram. Stalk sounds like such a crazy word. But, go check in on them. Let's change it to check in on them. I wanted to use stalk to shock you. But let's go check in on them. Find something they did over the weekend, a ball game they went to, a fall festival they did, a new outfit their kids had. Maybe they started exercising, and comment on something about their life that lets you know you care and you're interested before you start diving into an information dissemination. So check them out on social media. Go find a tidbit, something fun that's going on in your life. Hey, I saw you went to this weekend. Hey, I saw your daughter got married. Hey, it looks like you're going to a new church. Whatever. Do that. Follow up and take them down to the next step of the process. And remember, when you close someone, number one, they need to have all their questions answered. So a good thing to ask them is this: I know you're interested in Juice Plus, but I feel like there's probably some questions I haven't answered for you yet. Do you have any questions? Be quiet and let them answer. And then if they say I don't have any questions, they're going to say, that's awesome. And I want to make sure you know there's multiple ways you can partner with the Juice Plus company. You can be a customer, you can be a partner just to get the best price. You can be a parent with a free child. You could decide, hey, I don't want to join. I don't want to create a business. I just want to make enough money to pay for my product. Or you know what? If we could make an extra $500 a month, it'd make a huge difference. Our car's falling apart, or I want to put my kids in a private school, or we really would love to take this vacation and we've never been able to save up and do it. Or I really would love to change careers so that I had more control of my time. I'd love to create some reliable, faithful, consistent income that could change my family for generations. Let them pick which one. Don't ask them a yes or no question. Hey, you ready to do this? Yes or no? No. Say, hey, what would make the most sense to you? There's 4 or 5 ways, but I want you to pick the one that's best to you. Lay all those out there and say, hey, which one looks best to you? All right, let's do some follow-up for 7 minutes. You ready? Okay, 7 minutes of follow-up, and then we're going to go to our Q&A, okay? Hey, while you're getting started, let me just use Fred's example. Fred's on Facebook. Fred, maybe if you want to join us, there's a link above at the end. You can join us for our Q&A live. But Fred's on Facebook, and he commented, and he said he sent out a short video to a friend of mine whom he chatted with just a week ago. He commented to me last week that he was inspired by my health journey. Now, that is a baseball set up on a tee to knock out of the park. Someone is interested and admired Fred's health journey. And now Fred is sent them a video, they commented, and now it's Fred's turn to follow up. Think of it as a chess game. Your move, my move, your move, my move. Fred made the first move, sent out the video. The person responded in a grateful way about the video and admired his health journey, their move. Now it's Fred's move to move back. Fred could say, hey, tell me about your health journey. Or he could say, yeah, it's been amazing and it was nowhere near as hard as I thought. I knew I had to bridge the gap between what I did eat and what I should eat. You know, don't necessarily feel like you have to take their order on the next sale. Take the process deeper, appreciate them so that they appreciate you. You care, they care, and answer their questions. That's what follow-up looks like. Thanks for sharing that, Fred. Oh, and one more thing. It's not in this section, but Fred's post he shared, it's the example of, it's not a post it and they will come. It's a post it, share the video, have a conversation, have a dialogue. It doesn't all happen on the playground of social media. Social media may start it, but there's a personal interaction that's going to happen before anything or any transaction takes place. Okay. So it's not post it and they will come. Great example, Fred. Okay, just under 3 minutes left, and you're working on follow-up. We close with a very broad category because it could be follow-up from an event they attended. It could be follow-up from a 3-way phone call you did. It could be follow-up from seeing them at the gym last week. Follow-up from sharing a smoothie with a neighbor. Follow-up because your neighbor's child was at your house and you made them a smoothie instead of chocolate chip cookies, and the child just loved it and went home ranting and raving to the mom. Or it could be someone that saw you going to your kid's school to an event at 2:00 in the afternoon, and they said, "How can you do that? You seem to be at all your kids' events." And you got to share with them about a business, how you made it a priority to stop trading hours for dollars. And there's follow-up there. So follow-up can take on many forms, but you have to do it, and you need a system. And we'll talk about that. You can ask about that in the Q&A, but Trey, we need to do a system. We need to do a training on how do you follow up? What system do you use for follow-up? And Trey and I can do that. Maybe we'll even do that on one of our podcast episodes. And Trey is amazing with technology. He's an Apple guru like I am. Trey and I, neither one of us have any windows in our house. So you can take that literally, or you can take that with the pun that was intended. Okay. So, all right, we'll do some follow-up. 1 minute left. I'm going to shut up so you can work for a minute. Okay. Well, 15 seconds more. We have a nut job on YouTube. He doesn't use his own picture or his own face. He just
I'm
gets
working on
there.
it.
All right. Trey's going to work on it. And but I just want to let you know he's there. Okay. Here we go. Let's do some Q&A. And who would like to jump in first? I'm going to let me see if I know how to do this. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Who would like to jump in there? I think I have everybody unmuted. You can unmute yourself, but we've got Constanza, Melissa, Tamitha, and Terry are live on Facebook right now. So who would like to jump in there first? Terry, you ready? Who wants to jump in and ask a question? Constanza, do you have a question?
Well, I have a question for Trey. Actually, I want to know where does he follow Alex Hormozi on the lead generation?
Oh, great. That's a good question. So I follow him on Facebook. And he also wrote a book called $100 Million Leads. That was in our back channel conversation about how do we think about how to expand our networks. And he has a really, really great way of thinking about one of the most powerful tools that you have right now when it comes to leads is your address book in your phone in your inbox. And specifically, he gives really good tools about how to create a irresistible offer, which I think particularly for our product, it's the idea of, healthy families. I think that the healthy starts is a great way of doing this. But then I think the other thing is around lead generation. And he talks about how no one necessarily wants to be a lead for you, but they're almost always, if they're good friends, willing to share their network with you.
Okay.
And so being specific with those leads is really helpful.
And Constanza, that's what kind of what we talked about a little bit in the process of when you're inviting somebody to a three-way phone call. If you can take the
Yes.
pressure off, that's what Alex was. I mean, what indirectly what Trey was saying, that it's on the same page. It's like if someone feels like you only want to talk to them because you're after their checkbook or their calendar, they're
Mhm.
going to try and steer you away because they're very protective of those two things. People are protective of their calendars and their checkbook, but they're
Yes.
not protective of helping a friend. They're not
Okay.
protective of being available to help you. So a lot of times you have to start there. And when they find out what you're doing, sometimes they're like more interested than you ever thought they would be, but they can't help you and can't be a good asset on your side unless they know what you're doing. So invite
Okay.
them to find out and give them an opportunity to support you, refer people to you, be a friend of yours in the business without having to open their checkbook or calendar up to you and be afraid of that, you know? Thanks,
Okay.
Trey, for sharing that. Who else?
Thank you.
Yep.
Kurt, you
I
can switch back over to your camera. There you
Yep.
go.
Who else would like to share?
I'd like to ask about that follow-up system that you were talking about.
Okay. So I'm not going to give you a system because I want to give everybody the opportunity to use the system that works best for them. Okay. So, Trey, I'm struggling here I was going to try and have both of us. There we go. All right. Now I've got both of us on the screen. I couldn't figure out how to get both of us on there. I was struggling for a minute. So one of the things that you need to figure out is, are you an Apple person? Are you a Windows person? Or are you a Google person? Which ecosystem do you typically live in that makes the most sense, for you to stick with? So you want to come up with some kind of follow-up system that works for you. Like for me, I'm going to have to be careful right now or I'll activate everything in my life. I like SIRI. Some people say Alexa, some people say, hey, Google. But I use Apple, so I'm a Siri person, and she just woke up in my office. So anything I'm saying right now, she's going to activate. She's going to listen to it. But when I'm driving down the road, I'll say, "Hey Siri, remind me to do this. Remind me to do that." So, okay, no, okay, she just created a reminder for that. I use that because I'm occupied with my hands so much that I can multitask and do those kind of things. Like if I was on the phone with you and I knew that I needed to follow up with you, as soon as we hung up, I would say, hey, Sherry, I would say that, and we're gonna call her Felix for right now, just so she doesn't respond inappropriately. So I would say to my assistant, hey, Felix, and I would say, remind me to call, Tamitha tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And so, but I do it immediately, or else if I waited till I got home, I would forget. So for me, Trey's talking about the use of your phone in a very, productive way. I'm on my phone. I'm driving down the road. I'm on a run. I'm on my treadmill. I'm on my tractor at the farm. I'm playing golf, and I think of something that I need to do. I go ahead and activate it immediately so I don't forget. So I have to have some kind of system. It goes back to your original question. I have to have some system that works for me. So I'm busy, I'm on the go. I'm not sitting at my desk having these planning sessions for an hour where I'm working on my DMO every day. I have to schedule things while I'm on the move. That's just the way my life works. So I know that Google and Android have similar tools. I just don't know what they are because I don't live in that world. I know there's a Google Assistant. There's an Alexa assistant that works with Amazon. So if you like using your voice, use one of those. But I mean, I still know people that are very paper driven, Tamitha. I mean, I know people that they have a paper calendar and they get up every morning and there you go. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I switched back and forth for years. And I think the final straw was when I lost mine. I left it on an airplane and I felt like I had lost my life. I was 9 months into the year. It was like September, and my planner got left somewhere. And I'm like, there's no backup. I don't have this information stored anywhere. So I switched over to digital. But I mean, I still journal with paper and pen when I have my quiet time in the morning. So whatever system you use, you might use a combination. I don't know if you need this or those of you listening. I need the alerts, the bells, the whistles, the alarms to remind me to do things. And I could be the best at my paper journal and do an amazing job writing stuff down, but it doesn't jump out and remind me that, hey, you wrote this down, you better go do it. I have to be looking at it. So you might use a paper journal, but I kind of would encourage anybody to use some type of digital gadget that you use, whether it's your watch or your phone or whatever, so that you can remember to do it. Because I mean, just because you wrote it down doesn't mean at Tuesday at 9 o'clock you go remember to do it, you know? So does that help?
Yeah, that does help.
Okay. Anybody else? I know you don't, sometimes you didn't come prepared with questions, but if you'd like to ask a question, jump in.
I was actually going to ask if you would just review the scenarios you suggested when you were talking about, I think like with somebody joining you, like which one is for you? What makes
Oh,
the
yeah.
most sense to you?
Yep. That's so important, because it's kind of like when you're playing cards with somebody, or there's an issue that comes up. People like choices. They want to pick what they think's best for them versus you shoving it down their throat. That's just with the internet, and we always can Google and get options today. So what Melissa's asking is, I was talking about closing somebody, and that you never ask a yes/no question. Asking a yes/no question is not a healthy way to move things forward. It's too simple, and it gives them an opportunity just to make excuses for no reason, or not to make a wise choice. So don't ask, are you ready? Can I have your credit card? You want to order now? That's not the right way to do it. You're still trying to get the same results, but you don't want them to think there's only one option. You want them to have choices. So what Melissa's asking is, what were those 4 or 5 things that I said were choices as to ways you could partner with the Juice Plus company? Okay. And so what I would say is, I'm so excited, Melissa, that you're interested in Juice Plus, but I don't want to tell you the best way. Can I share with you 4 or 5 different ways, and I'll just let you pick which one's the best for you? So Melissa, I know you want to flood your body with fruits and vegetables, and you could just become a customer. I mean, I can send you a link, you can order, and you can become a customer. But along with that, you get free shipping. And along with that, you could sponsor a child that could get it for free. Your child, a grandchild, a niece, nephew, so they can get it free until they're 26 years old. So that's one option where you could do it. Another option would be, instead of just being a customer, option number 2, and Trey can type these in the box if he wants to. Option number 1 is customer. Option number 2, and Trey, you can be filling this out and then hit enter when we're done. Option 1 is customer only, parentheses with a free child. Option 2 would be partner with the Juice Plus company to get the best price. Partner to get the best price. And that means you're gonna sign up to get the best price to order for you and your family. I might say something like, Melissa, I know you're not a narcissist. I mean, you're not wanting to get healthy and just saying screw your family. I don't care if they get healthy or not. You're probably trying to make a healthy decision for your house. I run into very few people that are going to say, I want to get healthy. I don't care about my spouse. I don't care about my kids. It's usually a decision. That's awesome. My whole family needs to eat more fruits and vegetables. What do I need to do? And so a good choice for you might be to partner with the Juice Plus company. And that way you get the best price. You do have to spend $52, but you're going to get that back. You're going to get cash back. You're going to get sales profit back. You're going to get commissions back. And those things are permanent. And you still get the free freight and the free kids. So that might be the best option for you. And then that kind of leads me to the next option. So those are the first 2 options: customer or partner with the Juice Plus company for the best price. Third option would be, I want to pay for my product. You know, this is a great deal, but I've got 4 in my house that I want to get on this product. Like my son just had his 5th child. They've got 7 that eat Juice Plus in their house, you know? So, I mean, you can imagine that's expensive. And they say, well, I just want to pay for my product. So I said, well, you can do that. Partner with the Juice Plus company and just get a few customers so your product could be free. That's option number 3. I'm giving you more detail, but you can see how you would explain this more simply to the prospect. Option number 4 would be, I want to make some part-time income. I need to diversify, make a little bit of extra money. You know, my car is broken down. I really need a new car. Kids need private school. is a vacation we've been dreaming of taking and we'd love to be able to take this year. If Juice Plus could just fund our family vacation, just that extra part-time income or cover for inflation right now. And then the last option would be, I think this is number 5. Fifth option would be, I would like to build a business for my family that creates generational wealth, that really does what you were talking about, that creates that reliable, consistent, faithful income. Because at some point in time in my life, I would like to be able to not trade hours for dollars forever. So those are really all the ways, Melissa, you could partner with our company. Which one sounds the best to you? And you just be quiet. See, look how good Trey is. He's just right there. He's better than Siri. I guess I could have told. Trey did great. Thank you, Trey. Did that help, Melissa? Okay. And
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And
Thank
those
you.
comments are, I know you're on Zoom, but if you go to Facebook, Trey put all those in the comments on Facebook. And Trey, can you slap those? Just do a cut and paste and slap those in the Zoom chat too. Maybe
Yep,
you
Beth
can.
already did.
Okay, thanks. All right. Anybody else? Good questions. I
Okay, I
got
have a
Melissa's
question.
question. Who just, Terry, you want to ask a question? Okay, I thought you put your hand up. No worries if you don't. I thought you did. Okay.
I don't generally have a question per se. I love all the stuff that you're sharing, and I'm typing out everything that you're saying and the flow of that you're doing everything. And I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for doing all this and answering it. Just the more you hear it, right? The repetition.
Great. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who had popped up. So thanks for sharing that. And thanks for being on here, Terry. Appreciate that. Okay.
I do have a question. When's the next time you're going to be doing this?
Well, we're going to do the live one at least once a month. So Trey and I, we'll meet tomorrow and get a date on the calendar. I think it was successful. And so we'll do it. We'll do it once a month. We'll do it sometime near the end of November, but to not conflict with Thanksgiving. So we'll figure out a time to do it near the end of the month. Okay.
All right, thanks.
And I think
Kurt, I have a real quick question.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys would be willing, and Kurt, you can take you can probably just go your camera right now.
Yep. Going to go switch.
Why we need to get you a
Yep.
stream deck.
Yep.
So one question I would have is to everybody who's on Zoom, and if you're on Facebook or YouTube, we'd love to know your comments as well. What we have this new podcast, curious about, is there any topics that you would like Kurt and I to cover? It would be really helpful for us to know if you're willing to share in order to help you in your business.
So Trey, I know they could comment and share them right now, but where else could they send us an email or post it somewhere? What would be the best place for them after the fact to share?
They can just post it right onto the threads on
Okay.
Facebook and YouTube, and we'll go sift them.
Yeah, if you're on Zoom, that chat's going to go away. So if you're on Zoom, go and share it on our Facebook page. Or right now, Terry, you had your hand raised? Terry she did it right this time. She raised her hand.
I know. Well, doing this on my phone is different. I do have a question. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
I got somebody coming in. Hold on. Let me send them to voicemail. Okay. I do have one question, because this is something that I find I'm struggling with the most is, what business video do you like that you share when somebody's interested or potentially interested in the business? I know we have a lot of product videos, and that's great. Which one do you like that you would share that tells about our business?
I have several on my YouTube channel. I usually use one of mine. You can go look on our YouTube channel, and we can maybe pull some of those to the front. It depends on, if you want to just share the numbers, that's one thing. I mean, the ones I use are like me or someone sharing the story. Like I talk about, why would somebody do a business like this, and really talk about, I use the term Kairos moments. Is there something that God's calling you to do that what you're currently doing to generate income is not letting you do that? Or is there something you want to do that if you don't change what you're doing right now, those things are not going to change? So you can share with someone why they need a business like this. That's one type of video. The other type of video is, it's more, well, how does this business work? How do you retail? How do you recruit? How do you train? How do you get overrides? How do you build a bonus? So it depends on what you're looking for, but you can send me a Voxer message and I'll connect you with some board stuff if you want me to. So
Okay,
right.
that'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Trey, I have probably like time for one more question, and I've got to wrap it up because we have to leave here in just a minute to go take some food to someone who just had a baby. So that's just real life, you know? So one more question, or we can wrap it up. And then please do share with us top podcast topics. And we're doing that twice a month. And those are things you can listen to. May not have the visuals, but people like content while they're multitasking. So we're doing the podcast and we're having a lot of fun with that. And then also just any kind of thing you would like to be available to you or your team via video or information, we'd be happy to make that happen for you. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for participating in our new technology. And Trey and I will get back with you in post when we'll do the next one. Okay. Be blessed. Have a great day.
Thank you.
See ya.